Never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred.
The needs of working families in the middle class, not just the billionaire class. We know what's going on. We are paying attention.
Good morning, everybody. It is the end of the corporate age, probably the end of many corporations that are on the coastlines of Florida, actually, which is what you get for not prepping for climate change. And no, I'm not starting off by knocking Florida, but I'm kind of excited about what's going to happen there. Not for the citizens, just for the environment, because the long-term result of this will be no longer the ability to deny climate change. Because Florida is now going to have an annual evacuation, right? Every year as we prepare for the first mega hurricane. Keep in mind, this is an off year for El Niña, right? So when we have one of those kick back in, and that's usually a couple year spread, everything is even warmer. And as we've learned, everybody's learned from watching the history, or not the History Channel, but the Weather Channel. We could watch both. Go back and look at the history of all the devastating hurricanes and why they were that way. But the Weather Channel has done a good job of showing us what happens when a hurricane goes over land. It gets colder and it loses power. When a hurricane's over water, particularly warmer water, it gains strength, gains wind speed, and then it slams into some more land with all of that stuff. Bill McKibben, one sentence climate change, right? Warm water holds more, or warm air holds more water. Sorry, Bill, fucked up a one sentence thing. Warm air holds more water. So all that warm air and that water, here's the beautiful thing. So right now it's a category 3, right? And everybody's like, it's a category 3. And everybody's like, oh, whatever, it's just a 3. No, it's a 3 that's wider than the state of Florida that is about to hit the warmest water yet. Mm-hmm. So when it hits that open space between Cuba and the tip of Florida, it's going to pick up power again. It may be a 4, maybe it'll be a 5. Who knows? It's going to fuck shit up. And the storm surge alone is going to cause more damage than we can ever possibly imagine. And I have no idea how long it's going to take for that storm surge to go away. Right? Where's it going to go?
Yeah. If that water there is just a little bit warmer than it used to be, that's the difference.
Yeah. Good morning, Laura Live and Good. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. It's a Saturday show. I know I started right off on here, hang on, get Markus in here. What the hell's going on? There's Markus. All right. Yeah.
There's everybody.
There's everybody. Yeah. Good morning, Markus. How you doing?
Good morning, John. Good morning, Laura. This is a strange arrangement. Normally, I'm not in the middle, and this confuses me a little bit. But
it's a
good morning, America. And I hope you guys are safe. And what can we say? Irma is coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking how cruel it is. I mean, there's earthquakes that just happen suddenly, and you're immediately you're put into, okay, now what do I do mode. And I understand it's actually helpful to be able to prepare for something like this. But when you see what's happening along its path, you just have to sit there and wait for it to come and happen, and you know it's coming. And I can't imagine how that must feel. I feel like I did when Katrina was coming, because we saw that and there was so much concern, and it's just, you feel so helpless.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I'm very concerned about everybody that's leaving now has to go back. A lot of people are losing their jobs because they're fleeing the hurricane. A lot of people are losing their rent or losing their homes because they can't pay rent or they're not there to pay their bills, right? Mm-hmm. And capitalism isn't doing any favors. Capitalism's making money off this. This is.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, if I were a skilled construction worker that could stand living in Florida, I'd be getting ready to go right now. Can you imagine the industry that is going to grow up around the recovery from this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a positive thing. A lot of people will put a lot of people to work. It's terrible the source, but I think a lot of people are looking ahead to that in a way.
Yeah, this might boost the economy to a certain point, but what about those people who can afford?
Exactly.
Where will they stay in the future?
Yeah. No, it's not the poor people that are going to be paying these construction workers. You understand? It's the hotels and the mansions and the Mar-a-Lagos and that's what it's going to be. The employers. It'll be a little distribution of wealth because they're going to have to pay for it, but. Yeah, it's the people who don't have the luxury of doing that, uninsured or homeless already or whatever. That's my concern.
So we only have to wait until Trump is telling the people, guys, I made so many jobs and look how beautiful the storm was and all the job it created.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
We can wait for this. I'm pretty sure he comes with this.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's true. It's true. Hi everybody. Jupiter Judy, you're safe now. Good to hear.
That's
Trisha,
good.
I don't know who else is in here. Several people yesterday were telling us they were in Florida and weren't leaving or hadn't left yet or were on their way to go places. Patricia says FEMA pays out some, but here's the deal: you realize, everybody, that's basically our tax dollars being repurposed to fight catastrophes. When if our government had invested in systems and infrastructure and precautions to begin with the money we gave them, instead of going to war, instead of putting it in their fucking pockets, instead of all the other bullshit they spent it on.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have to spend now in a disaster situation, right? Everything's going to cost more. It's going to cost more. Instead of reaffirming what we had, it's going to cost more, billions more. And next year it's going to happen again. And next year it's going to happen again. And the year after that, and the year after that, it's going to get worse and worse. And eventually Florida will just be a fucking wasteland of water and destruction. It's going to become uninhabitable.
I'm imagining that there will be huge parts of it that will remain inhabitable after this and won't be salvaged.
Right. The coastline is going to get completely destroyed, and people what's the value of that coastal property now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That won't happen again.
And somebody was saying right here, who was commenting about in the show Bloodlines, which I don't watch, but Sissy Spacek wanted to sell her resort in the Florida Keys, but the buyer backs out after Enviro because it will be underwater in 10 years. You'd be an idiot to buy property in fucking on the coast of anything right now. Right? Laura's shaking her head. It's like,
Judy says she's got a house inland that'll be oceanfront soon. We could,
Right.
Her ship will come in, quite literally.
If you really want coastal property, invest now in inland property because plan your distance based on what the scientific data shows currently. Honestly, I've seen some doomsday maps where I'm underwater. How far
are you above sea level?
I don't know, but we have the Tillamook mountain range. You have that mountain range between us and the coast. I'm figuring it'll wash up against the mountain range. But even if it spills over the mountain range, come on,
Well, I'm on the seaward side of an oceanside mountain range. I'm only 6 miles from the ocean, and I'm at about 400, 500 feet.
That may be enough. I mean, that should put you right there. I mean, that's pretty close, but that should put you right there.
Yeah.
Marcus, sorry, you're not even close.
No, I'm quite satisfied. I'm not close.
This was not a contest you wanted to win.
Yes, but I think if the sea level rises, the rivers will rise also, and I'm not too far away from the big Rhine River here in Germany. So it's going to be interesting also here.
We know the Rhine River from World War II movies that they crossed and bombed. That's how America learned them.
The Remagen Bridge, right?
Yes. Oh, anyway, guys, good morning. Guys and gals, I didn't even say good morning to everybody. Metalhead and Jupiter Judy and Paula and Jeffrey Pearson and Louise Squires and Barbara, how you doing? And Patricia and Density. Thank you, Density. Got your card, sent you an email. I really appreciate that. Everybody that continues to donate and send me cards, even if just to say hello. Everybody that's asked for seeds that I have totally dropped the ball on, I'm getting there. It's just that I'm dropping a lot of other balls, and so I got too many balls. Right?
But we're picking them up.
We're trying to. We're picking them up. That's actually part of the conversation. We haven't even gotten to the conversation thing. It's so exciting about what's going on with the weather. Right? And I don't mean that in an insensitive way. I get that people's lives are being completely destroyed right now. People are dying, died.
It's important. It's important.
Yeah.
It's priority. It's not something to be taken lightly at all. And we're trying to keep this light just because that's what we try and do on Saturdays sometimes, but we're not making light at all of what's going on. And we have a lot of empathy and concern for many friends.
Yes. I was just a big dick yesterday. I just wanted to make it lighter today. That's all.
Yeah. I didn't get to see yesterday's show yet. Oh,
don't.
Boy.
It's not.
Okay. Okay.
Don't.
All right.
You don't want to. All right. So and hi, everybody. I am an insensitive bastard, Real Jingy. Thank you. But that has nothing to do with the show. It's just me. I'm going to tell you this. This is
transparency. This is the show. And John is who he is. Marcus is who he is. And I am who I am. And that's what you get.
And yesterday we had the two grumpy guys.
Yes, Marcus was in a bad mood. I was in a bad mood. Sometimes just in bad moods.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll skip that one.
No.
I'll go with your brain around.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Like my mom, when I was caring for her in her last few months, like she said to me, she said, "John, I never realized how kind you were." Like those words came out of her mouth about me.
Aww.
Right? But that's because she always thought I was a dick. You understand? Okay. My mom was also on a lot of morphine at the time, so I kind of give it to that. However, that's I just gonna.
You're a lot more patient than I am a lot of times on a lot of things. I don't know if you realize that, but I admire that. So
no, I'm an impatient motherfucker, so I don't know. But thank you, I appreciate that. That's kind of you to say. It's kind of.
Other things not so much. But.
My shots are messed up. That's why Marcus is in the middle. What you guys don't know is that 2 days ago, the entire graphics bank that is stored in here got wiped. And I don't know, I had a copy of the system, but it did not include the graphics banks, and I don't know why. So I've only rebuilt a couple of them. There were a lot. And you
were madly rebuilding them in time for We the People, and you did great.
Yeah.
But it was like, talk about last minute pressure.
Yeah. Fun stuff. That cost me a couple of joints to stay calm. Anyway, let's go back to the card, everybody.
Yeah,
hey, Ellis, Phil Britton, how you doing? Paula, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Stock, narcissistic Trump-like. Me? Yeah. No, here, let's look at the card. So, space garbage. Space garbage. Bet you weren't ready for Christie on the Star Trek screen. That's I thought I just had to do something funny. Christie isn't even relevant today anymore, but it was.
There was a good one with him in the boat. I forgot to put that in Slack. It was a picture of Trump leaning out to give a drowning man a hat, and Christie sitting in the back of the boat. I thought that was kind of.
Yeah, I've seen that one. And that meme about Trump giving the guy a hat is not even. That's Photoshop too, because.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't even.
No, it was a double. It was a double Photoshop.
Yes.
It's not Photoshop. No.
No. None of Trump's appearances anywhere are Photoshop. No. Couldn't possibly happen. Oh, stock post says not you, John. It was for Slackbot. Whatever. That's
Slackbot.
So it makes it fun to peek over and have no idea what the hell you guys are talking about. John, real jingy. John, I swear I have a group of kids that I grew up with that all had the same story. Dad drunk or absent, mom's mental in some form. That's my story. And disabling abuse. Okay, well, that's not funny.
Wow.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry. My dad was not a drunk and my mom was not that way. But
mine either.
No.
Very
I
nice.
was a remarkably privileged white kid in the suburbs. Okay.
Me too.
Honestly. We had our issues, but and white suburban families do have their serious fucking issues, but they're usually brought on by religion and weird family shit and stuff that's not supposed to happen within your family facade. And then you try to keep the facade there, and then everybody inside gets all irritated with other because you got the facade, and then somebody fucks up the story, and then something leaks, and then and that's white suburban America. At least that's what I grew up with. Right?
Gossip.
Yes.
Gossip.
Yes. Anyway. Yeah. And my mom liked keeping up with the Joneses. I'll say that was her thing for a while. She really tried on my dad's not upper middle class salary. Anyway, so yeah, Christie, space garbage. Events, we have a lot of them now these days. So we have Progressive Oregon show tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Larry Taylor, and he's going to give a survival guide for burners on Robert's rules. All right. These are the I'm going to call them the parliamentary procedures, but they're the Robert's rules, which are the procedures that we use or are supposed to use in our democratic meetings and supposed to use just in general to keep order. And there's a lot of trickery that can be used in Robert's rules by the establishment. And if you know your own trickery and your way around it in the rules, then you can say, fuck you. And so that's what Larry's going to teach us. This is important shit. This stuff, this is basically inner core civics that we don't get in school, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is civics.
That'd be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Real Jingy said my mom was on morphine. I see what you're saying. You thought the morphine was for... No. This was end of life care. She was... Sorry, I didn't clarify
Hospice.
that. Mom died of cancer, and this was like the last couple months, and yeah, she was... she was on a lot of fun opioids, and she needed them. That's all. Anyway, I meant to clarify that. It's no important. Real. It's not like I don't look over at comments and completely misunderstand what the fuck you guys are talking about. So hey.
Well, Stock Post was sharing that a person in his family committed suicide 2 days ago.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry, Sock. Jeez.
That's that's sad.
That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
Sorry. Pseudo-intellectuals is happening after the Larry show on Sunday, and that they're actually talking about violence, and related to peaceful like how do we handle it and stuff, which is good. I'm going to be involved in the conversation. They even played I watched a video clip that they're going to run of this guy who talks about how you can overcome violent groups with peaceful means, but I like the way it's described in terms of a mass effect. It's just the question of being able to get that mass effect. So it'll be an interesting discussion. Join us for the Pseudo-intellectuals. We the Peoples, which Lori wants me to change to We the Peeps. She's like, can you just change the name to We the Peeps? I'm like, I don't know.
That's how I report it when I do. That's from Everything Good with We the Peeps.
We the Peeps? We could. I don't know. What do you guys think? But
I think that's our pet name for it. I think we keep it dignified.
Oh, okay. Let's keep it dignified. Yeah.
Come on. It's the one dignified thing we got.
If you want to make it dignified, find it a new host. You got to find a host. Marsha Squire on Monday. Bobby Mahendra on Wednesday. Both running against people. I don't know who because they are
Peeps.
Peeps. Both
running against Peeps.
Yeah. So they're both progressive.
Do you want me to give you the quick 411?
Yeah.
That?
Do you have all the info? Let Laura
I do.
Give it to us.
Yeah.
She's the book.
Marsha,
she's been doing all the work on this.
Okay, so Marsha's running as an independent, and she's running for Senate in Michigan.
Awesome.
Against Debbie Stabenow. And
and Debbie Stabenow, just everybody know, Debbie Stabenow is a celeb. I just got pictures of her hanging out with Bono. Yeah, she's all big in the money and stuff. So anyway.
Oh yeah. And then Bobby Mahendra is running for Senate in Nevada against Dean Heller.
Oh yeah, Dean. Okay.
Yeah. He's running as a Democrat. So our first independent, and to everybody, before you even ask, yes, I'm still trying to get some green candidates. They aren't responding to their emails quite as quickly. So, but working on it and definitely including that in the mix because I think that's important for our transparency. We're interviewing people who are running for the same office. We're going to try and get 3 different people running for Senate in California against Feinstein, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But so we've got a lot of interesting people in the works, and that the card just keeps filling up.
Yes. Oh yeah, here, let me show you that.
It's not a hard sell, actually. It's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. If I can get them to read my email, then they're like, yeah.
Well, because most of these people are in dire need of airtime, and most of these people have no idea what to do in terms of a tech or media presence, and that's a role we're trying to fill, working with other agencies, actually. So,
well, then they look at our archive and they're like, wow, Nice. Randy Bryce, Stephen Jaffe. It's like
Yeah, we got some names.
we don't suck. So
Our market is a fishbowl, but we don't,
yeah.
we don't suck.
It's an echo chamber, but it's also out there, and it's an asset that's on websites and will be shared, and it doesn't need to be a right now thing. All we care is that we're putting it out there. That's our purpose right now.
Right.
Yeah. Eventually making money for doing something similar to that would be great, but right now, as we build our base, that's our goal and our mission, whether we're paid for it or not.
Yes. Jilly Love, 9/11 coming up. Something bad always happens this year. Yeah, but it's also the date of the We the People Monday, so
yeah,
that's a good thing. And I thought of that too. I'm like, damn, that sucks for our first start. But that's all right. It'd be a good night for Marcia and us. So, meh on the 9/11 shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know it is 9/11.
We can take over 9/11. We can make it ours.
We should. I'd love to see the Nazi symbol reclaimed as something fun and interesting, and just rewritten in terms of history as not being that symbol.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What's interesting is a swastika is often seen in Tibetan
it's all over.
iconography, and I think it's switched or diagonal or something like that. But yeah, the same shape can have a different meaning if you
right. It was taken away. I mean, Nazis weren't the first people to use that symbol. It had been used.
It's a symbol. It's a symbol of the sun.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, they just confiscated it, just like the Christians took a bunch of pagan shit and turned it into their stuff. This is what religions do. All right, that's what they do. I've got an AJ Plus video about that, but we're not there yet. We've got other fun stuff to talk about. We've got other things to talk about. The end song is the end song because I realized how we can put vacation back into our survival lives. All right? It's impossible for us to go on vacation these days being awake, but we get moments. Have your vacation moment. Mm-hmm. All right, so what's down with uphill? The transformation has begun. There's a couple things I wanted to say about that really fast. Laura Livengood, Markus, a bunch of other people are working on making this real. Making this real meaning not just being the volunteer network that I refuse to say I'm the coordinator of, but actually turning it into a nonprofit and a for-profit. But that also means that people have to take roles and responsibility, and then other people, including myself, have to listen to these people and have to follow the rules and the roles and the responsibilities, and we have to put everything in line, and everybody has to do this for free still. So it's like, hey, you joined a volunteer org, but we're actually going to make you be organized, and I'm sorry, but you're not going to get paid for it yet still. And we're trying to make it fun. The end goal will be that everybody might be able to get compensated in some way. Maybe that title becomes more officialer. Maybe we can raise funds bigly and use them in a huge way. That's what I'm hoping for out of this. So to everybody past and present that has put in megatons of sweat equity, thank you. If you're still here we go again.
Thank you even more.
Yeah, thank you even more. And those of you that are in the reason I'm going here is those of you that are in the volunteer network, meaning the Slack group. Those of you that are part of our family out there, you guys are sharing on social media, and keep doing that, please, and don't change. If you volunteer to join our Slack and you're in there and you want to get involved and do things, now is the time to connect with Laura or Markus, not me. Now is the time to connect with Laura or Markus and tell them you're interested in getting involved. Here, let me change cameras so I can put everybody back there.
But what's even more helpful than that is not just what can I do, but this is what I can do. What skills do you have to offer? What do you perceive that we need? That gives us a place to start, and it lets us work right in your comfort zone. So.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's great if you can tell us what you got to offer, what you like to do. But I will just say that we have specific roles that we're looking to fill as well. So we're getting organized on the stuff to do. I guess that's what the big thing is. So reach out. Let us know if you want to get more involved. Definitely let us know what skills you have, because that is important, right?
Yeah.
Skills, resources, time, and that's a resource. So if you're like, I'm available to do shit from this time to this time, that's huge,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Really good working knowledge of Google, everything, Google Docs, Google Sheets and stuff like that. People who really can kick ass with that are, it's helpful because we do a lot of that, and a lot of our organization is there, and research is archived there, and that would be a helpful skill.
Yeah.
yes.
And
yes.
I would like to add, if someone has the time, the resource time, and graphic skills, always welcome. And there's a lot to do. And we are in need of more graphic guys.
All right. Well, I'll say this. Ashley Terry is cranking out, and he's a part of the corporation we're forming, the nonprofit. Mm-hmm. But yes, graphics people and video people. Skill levels can be used to different ways. All right. But
YouTubers.
But here's the thing.
YouTube people.
I know that those skills and assets are limited and few. So that's a whole new realm. Send an email to info@uphillmedia.org. That's our email that works. It actually gets forwarded to all the other ones, but info@uphillmedia.org is now the official email. Doug Grant wants to come on. We have Doug booked. Melissa.
No, Doug Grant.
No, we don't have Doug Grant. No,
Doug Grant was that kind gentleman who provided our stream last.
That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Yeah, he and I are friends on Facebook.
Thank you,
he'd
Melissa.
be a great person to bring into our Slack, I think.
Cool.
Well, no. It's just remember we were talking about having Melissa. Maybe you don't because you were on a show. Where Melissa, he's going to go to Melissa's bookstore, and we're going to talk to him there.
Oh, great!
Not about Slack, but if he wants to join Slack, sure.
No,
that's
I think
cool,
he'd be great. I think he'd be a good person for Slack.
Let's talk to him first, and Metal says you can do it for a few hours. Thank you, guys. I mean, and listen, I'm not at okay. Couple things on video editing and stuff. If you're new to it, it's going to take a while. That's an acquired skill. It takes a long time to become efficient with video editing, efficient with graphics, right? I can do both. I'm efficient with neither, right? But that's right. So this comes with time. So that's the thing. What were you guys saying? Okay. So I just also want to make it clear. I'm not saying that if you're out there in the audience right now that we need you to come into Slack. That's not what I'm saying either. I'm really just reaching out to everybody that's already volunteered. I don't want anybody out there to feel like, you need to jump up and do more. So I just wanted to make that clear. This is really more of a message for everybody that's in there already. If you want to come in, that's fine. If you have questions and want to talk to us about it, info@uphillmedia.org. If you're already in Slack, reach out to Laura and Markus because right now I am a major bottleneck. I've had like 5-6 different people send me DMs about this, that, and the fucking other, and I know that I haven't even responded to many of them because stuff's coming out. Just RAM. I don't have enough of it. So
we're getting organized.
We are.
It's good.
Yeah,
we are.
It's really gonna. It's starting to fall into place.
Yeah. And we will have a meeting, and we will check who takes responsible for what division of Apple Media, so you can directly so you know directly who to address for your questions.
Yes. Make it better for everybody. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And
it's fun. It's clicking now.
and that's okay. I knew we were going to get to this place, and I'd been dreading getting to this place, but now I feel better because I know that I'm confident of the people that are making sure that we stay afloat in this place. And this is the trickiest part of any organization, to go from the fun garage to the office space, which is kind of what we're doing here. And we got to remember that the reason to do this is so that we can do more. Right. It's not because we want to take over the world and I don't want to be a mega rich CEO of News Corp. Our goal is to maintain a habitable planet. That's it. Be the mission statement, to maintain a habitable planet. By helping wake up people. Anyway, that's it. I just thank you guys and keep up. Just thank you all for being here and dealing with the bumpy ride. This is like 2.5 years of figuring out what the hell we are and how we do things. And it's amazing that there are still people here at all. That's cool.
It is.
It's like a church.
Thank you.
Yeah. Chemo says, we got this. We do. We got this.
Nice. Thank you.
You're supported.
All right. So that's
What's next?
Cuba's done. That's what's next. Cuba's done. Ding.
Oh.
Cuba. Done. Right?
Aw. Really?
Well, I mean, they got pummeled.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what they did. They've invested in their infrastructure. This guy is reporting from Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
Current conditions.
I can hardly hear you because once again, even as the storm is moving away from Cuba towards Florida, it has just picked up in an incredible way, showing you the immense power of Irma. I can hardly stand right now. We've seen some roofs going flying off. We've seen trees going down. And, just look over this way. This is the storm going out to sea. And it really is incredible here because it is just waves and waves of wind and rain blowing incredibly hard. And this gives you some sense of what people here have been really suffering for about the last 8 to 10 hours. This storm came in here as a Category 5. They don't get any stronger than that. It is still a major hurricane, a very deadly storm. It flooded the entire town where I'm in. Everything was under about 8 to 10 feet of water. The water is receding now, but the winds are not. Still, as Irma leaves Cuba, a very powerful storm that is still continuing to wreak damage on this island.
Did everybody pick up some of those things? So the view he was showing was of the beach where the water should be coming this way and it was going that way, right? That's the power of the wind pushing the waves, the tide, the other direction. That's pretty fucking crazy.
Wow.
He also said 8 to 10 feet of storm surge. Feet.
Wow.
That's enough. That's 3 times more than you need to move a car. And that's going to happen in some places along the coast of Florida. I don't know if it's 8 to 10 feet, but even 3 feet of storm surge is plenty, right? Mm-hmm. And where's it going to go? Not going to go anywhere. All that water that's going to dump in Florida and stay in Florida is going to be kept in Florida by the storm surge of the hurricane that's pushing everything up and in. It's going to be a nightmare for everybody. And that's why Governor Rick Scott is freaking his shit right now. I think I have a clip of that. This is just a picture of Cuba.
Yeah. Well, keeping in mind that the highest elevation in Florida is 345 feet.
Yeah, that's
the very highest.
Mount Florida, huh? There's
Britton Hill.
Anyway.
It's in the Panhandle.
2 of Trump's luxury homes are in the hurricane's path. Mm-hmm. One of them, this is great. So one of them, we're talking about coastal property. One of them was tried to be sold for $29 million. They cut the price down to $16 million, and now it's going to be a piece of shit.
That's in St. Martin. That's the same place that Richard Branson's house got destroyed, where he was hiding out in his wine cellar. You hear about that?
Poor Richard. Aww. No, he was hiding in his wine cellar.
Yeah, I like Richard. Richard's cool.
Too.
Yeah, no, he was hiding. Yeah, he was hiding down in his wine cellar, and I think both of their houses evidently just innocent. Yeah, St. Martin got pummeled.
Wow. Hey, wait a minute. So Evan Kim is doing a stream of the hurricane. Is he in? I know you guys mentioned Evan earlier. If we have a stream, you guys drop me a link. I'd love to see if he's got something going on. He's a friend. I hope he's okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, Brom. Windy.com has one of the best meteorological maps. Nice.
Oh, I love windy.com. It's beautiful.
You guys tell me if that's videos of the Bahamas. This okay, I got to show you this. This is you guys know who Cal Penn is, the comedian? Moving on. So this is a photo of the White House, the Oval Office. That's Trump and his cabinet in big air quotes, looking at a map, a paper map. And he's like, "What year is this?" It's a really good question. I mean, that looks like a fucking museum picture. That's the Oval Office with people looking at a paper chart with a phone from 1985 on the fucking desk. Why?
True.
Why doesn't the fucking Oval Office? My comment was, why doesn't the Oval Office look like the fucking deck of the USS Enterprise at this point? It's the 21st century. There should be fucking screens everywhere. He should have cool computers in front of him. Instead, they make it look like a museum piece because our government runs like a fucking museum piece. But this is the best. Wow. There's some dude holding that up. That's his hand.
No.
Oh, come on. It's at least got an easel, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, I see a little hand on the top. I can't even look at the production screen. It's very small.
So who's the stooge that has to hold that shit up?
Can you zoom in on that a little, John? Are you able to?
What?
Eric, is it you?
Yeah.
He only has 3 fingers.
Well, the other, you know how that. I mean, the other 2 are holding the back hand. I mean, that doesn't look Photoshop to me. That's
no. That's
technology, American government style.
Or it's another alien proof. We don't know. We will check it. 3 fingers. Looks suspicious.
Trump is a technophobe. Well, he has no problem with fucking Twitter. I mean, at least he should have a giant fucking pad at his desk where he can thumb his fucking thoughts, right?
You only need 4 fingers to do Twitter.
Right. And by the way, it's probably buffering. I'm seeing that we've got too slow of a connection going on here, so sorry, guys. That ought to start affecting a lot of people. 9 million people potentially without power in Florida. Don't know how long it's going to take to repair. And Jose on the way. Hey, Jose. Jose's going to do the same kind of thing, right? Pick up speed, lower speed, pick up speed, lower speed. Where will Jose go? Nobody knows. It's exciting weather. Cadia apparently didn't go where it needed to go. It's like, I'm going to go elsewhere. I didn't see the full on Cadia. Did you guys?
Mm-mm.
No. Is that Kellyanne Conway holding it? She's got it on her head.
Yeah.
She's all...
That's why I said I imagine her kneeling behind it, with her shoes kicked off,
I'm not even going to touch that.
Okay.
This is moving. She has a job in the Oval Office, I guess.
Human easel. Yes.
Yeah. Again, I'm not even going to touch it. It's more about positioning is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Jose is going to go out into the Atlantic, not land in the USA. Really? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to sound sad about that.
Oh, no, yeah.
Apologize. But interesting. 1 hurricane at a time, please. Well, that's a good thing to note, though. We're only I don't even know that we're in the middle of hurricane season yet. Maybe we're in the middle of it. We got the rest of September. We got October, right? And tornadoes. There's going to be tornadoes with these things. And we've got fire season that's not. Check it. Bernie Sanders to unveil Medicare for All bill on Wednesday. Why is this important? Because in 2009, everybody laughed their ass off about the idea of this. 2008. Why is this going to happen? Why is this going to happen? Because even Republicans like it. Okay? The stunning Democratic shift on single payer. We were talking about this. This is the litmus test for the Democratic Party. If you don't make this test, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party is realizing that. They're like, the other litmus test that you'll be like Bernie, that was too much. Agree with him on single payer? If you can't do that, you're not a fucking Democrat. And Baucus, the name Baucus, which nobody knew until now. Do I have this picture? Please tell me I have this picture. Max Baucus. Does anybody know who Max Baucus is?
Nope.
All right. I was going to start doing like contests with the audience. First person to drop in the chat who Max Baucus is wins a jar of jam. But that would require me to ship jam, and I can't even ship the fucking seeds, so we're not going to do that. When we've expanded to the point where I've got somebody who will be like, oh, he said to ship that to somebody. Okay, I got it. And they just take down notes and do it.
Well, that'll be fancy.
I'm ready to pay for that. All right. What was the longest running senator in Montana. He recently lost. Somebody else took his place. I don't know who took his place. But he is the guy who killed Obamacare's public option. And now he's saying that single payer is what we need to look at. That's a big shift. You've got Kamala Harris, whether we like her as a corporate dem or not, or think she is or not. She signed on to it because she wants to appear progressive. We've got Elizabeth Warren, who I still have my doubts about, who is really trying to make herself appear progressive, and she signed on to the bill. And there's a whole shit ton of other Democrats who signed on to the bill, whether they like it or not, because they realize that their political career holds in the balance.
Did you hear how, did you talk about this yesterday maybe, Bernie's response to Hillary's book?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you talk about that yesterday?
Oh, yeah. We
Okay.
covered it. And I mean,
see, I'm learning to not throw things out if I haven't watched the show before that. And for the people anybody who didn't see yesterday's show, I liked it that he says, you know what, I understand that she's writing this book, but what we really need her support right now, and it'd be great if she would help me support Medicare for all.
Oh, there were so many excerpts. See, I had this story ready. Sanders asks if anybody really believes Clinton's book excerpts.
That is pissing off the bots, I can tell you.
Oh, yeah. Here, let's just watch this. I was excited for this. Jeez. Hang on.
So she says, no matter how bold and progressive my policy proposals were, Bernie would come out with something even bigger, loftier, and leftier, regardless of whether it was realistic or not. And then Jake Sullivan has this analogy to, there's something about Mary, where a deranged hitchhiker says he's come up with a brilliant plan. Instead of famous 8-minute abs exercise routine, he's going to market 7-minute abs. It's the same, just quicker.
I.e., Bernie Sanders just stole all of Hillary Clinton's ideas. Does anybody really believe that? The truth is, and the real story is, that the ideas that we brought forth during that campaign, which was so crazy and so radical, have increasingly become mainstream. I talked about a $15 an hour minimum wage.
Right.
Hillary did not. You know what? We got 31 co-sponsors on legislation for $15 an hour minimum wage. Talked about $1 trillion infrastructure. We talked about making healthcare a right of all people through Medicare for all. Medicare for all is becoming mainstream within the Democratic Party. So many making public colleges and universities tuition free. Talk to the governor of the state of New York. He's pretty proud of his accomplishment. So what I'm saying here, Chris, is many of the ideas that we talked about, that Secretary Clinton and others said, oh, those are too far out. They are the ideas that are sweeping America, that most Americans now support.
All right,
So fuck you, Hillary. That's what Bernie wanted to add to the end of that.
Yes. Oh, you know it.
A huge, so fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck you.
We did it for you.
Yes.
We did it for him.
And somebody noticed Chris Hayes' body position. He's like in German pose. What is that?
It's kind of a karate, you know.
The Sanders is
posture. Yeah.
What the fuck is? I don't even. What is that with Chris Hayes? Give us more of those ponies. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, come on. If anybody who actually thinks that Bernie stole her ideas needs to go back and watch all of our rallies. We have it documented, speech by speech, where Hillary Clinton did everything she possibly fucking could to make herself look more like fucking Bernie Sanders. There's an SNL skit after skit that shows, oh, look, Hillary's come in trying to look cool, and there she's trying to talk cool, and now she says, how about $12 an hour? I remember when she was like, how about $12 an hour? That's good enough, right? 12 is a good number. Let's try for 12. And then 2 months later, 15, I always said $15 an hour. I always said it. I always was for $15 an hour. I don't know where everybody's telling me I'm not. That woman is so full of fucking shit.
I want to see a Saturday Night Live skit with a herd of little ponies.
No kidding.
You should hire me. Damn it, that's a good idea.
Really, I don't know that she watched SNL while the primaries were happening, but they documented her failure. She needs to go just watch. They really did.
But this only shows how delusional Hillary Clinton is now. And she's, as I said yesterday, she should disappear in the woods and go into the sunset, and that's it. And it is. We don't need to discuss any more about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is history, and
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And the only person that doesn't know this is Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, this is why the book appears.
It's sad. It's sad.
No, she's surrounded by a buffer of people that are telling her, "Oh, they all still love you, and you need to explain to them." They're asking why. They're asking why, Hillary. They're asking why, and so she's, "Oh, I'll write a book. I'll
Right.
explain it to everyone."
Real chingy. Why not take one step further and bring up unicorns? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, she missed a great opportunity there.
You guys. I don't remember this, Denise. When she dabbed on Ellen. What?
What?
Did she just do the stupid
Was that the
dab
same
thing, or did
episode where she
actually
was
take
doing
a
the
dab?
dance thing? Oh my god!
No. Dabbing. Remember dabbing?
Yeah.
The
The
dab
handshaking
symbol?
thing was that the same episode? Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. I
Yeah,
I
like
don't
Bernie
watch
dab
it.
with that guy coming across the stage. That was like the best thing ever. That double handshake.
All of her desperate attempts to look cool.
Yeah.
That's
In her black leather jacket.
The Pokemon thingy
Brooklyn,
was great
raising
also.
the roof on Brooklyn. Remember? Yeah, raising the roof.
Yes. Oh my god, the black leather jacket with the white leather strip around the bottom to make it a full pantsuit length, because
Yeah. Do I
she
still
has
have it?
standards to maintain.
I don't still have it. Somewhere in my files that were wiped. But I still have the clip. I have the audio clip of our old outro for Bernie 2016 TV. And that's her at a speech going, huge. It's going to be huge. She's fucking stealing Bernie's huge.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
where we
yeah.
got
Is
that
it?
huge. Yeah, that's Hillary fucking Clinton. That's why we put it in the end, because it was so hilarious that it was Hillary Clinton trying to fucking sound like Bernie Sanders.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure who did it. I thought maybe it was you. Oh
No.
my god.
No,
Okay,
that's
yeah, we're gonna
Hillary
have
fucking
to
Clinton.
bring that out.
I will go find that. I will have that loaded in for Tuesday's show. That's it.
Chat used to have competition at who could type the word huge just as it said huge.
Oh my
So-
gosh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So
The gentleman who made that, his name was Chris, and we had a
Uh-huh.
huge fight, and he
Oh, no.
left the group. That was Implosion 1. That's
Ah.
Implosion 1. And
but he left behind that little gem, and we thank him for that.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Anyway, I want to move on to some other things.
Okay.
Let me see here. What did I have on the card? Doesn't anybody... Where'd the AJ Plus thing go? Hang on. I must have missed... Or I closed it. I need to load this other Twitter. Because there's stuff going on around the world that's not just going on here, right? Non-American stuff happening. We do German stuff. We occasionally get stuff about France. But there's actually really bad stuff going on other places.
Mexico.
Oh yeah.
What's going on in
Earthquake.
Mexico?
There was a huge earthquake the other night, and then they had Tropical Storm Lydia that just destroyed Cabo, Cabo, yeah. The whole tip of the Baja Peninsula just got horribly nailed, and it wasn't hardly in the media at all. My ex lives down there, so I know.
Right. Okay. Right.
So yeah, example in point.
There you go. There you go. Bev is saying that Bernie copied huge from Trump's Everything's Huge. Really?
No, huge what came before Trump was even on the scene.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe you're joking. I have no idea what Trump's huge is. Here, guys. So this is it's from AJ Plus. Burn villages, destroyed mosques. This near genocide isn't making it into mainstream media. Some serious stuff here. the title of this on my card was "Fuck Both Your Gods." Christians, Muslims, killing each other in a place that really doesn't have any resources to be doing that kind of shit. People aren't bad, but their religions most definitely are, in my view. Want to stop that shit from happening? Get rid of the fucking religion. Educate the people. Teach them about science. All right. One other kind of sad thing, and then we're going to get on to some hopeful stuff.
Oh, good.
We've been talking about civil wars. It's the possibility of a civil war in the United States, and we're looking at this uprising of Nazis and shit and extreme groups on the left that are rising to combat the Nazi bullshit, all right? Multiple rallies planned Sunday in downtown Portland. I had no idea Portland was going to become one of the center points for this kind of stuff, but there's a white supremacy supposed it's a freedom. I love the name of these groups. Several demonstrators, here, let's zoom in here. Several demonstrations are planned Sunday in downtown Portland, and police say there will be significant law enforcement presence, of course. And law enforcement can now buy whatever they want to deal with it. So there's a Queer Liberation Front, which is planning an event called Shut Down White Supremacy, scheduled for noon at the somewhere place, can't read that. And the event is a response to the 2 p.m. rally by the conservative group, it's my favorite, Patriot Prayer. At the same location, Patriot Prayer has organized an event called Peaceful Portland Freedom March. We'll see how armed they are, or if they're armed. Maybe they will just be a bunch of white supremacists who want to talk about freedom and prayer. It's just the most hypocritical shit ever right there. Just God and guns. No, anyway. So we're having a civil war on the streets of the United States right now. It's just limited to public protests and skirmishes where people have died. But it's no different than the civil war we had in the past. It's just that our federal government isn't directly involved. It's just a little more civil in some ways, which is weird. All right, happy news. All right, I don't know if I can call this happy news. This is just, I don't know. I want to know what you guys think of this guy. Laura Livengood and I were talking about this guy a little bit in chat and Slack. He's a new primary challenger to Feinstein, all right? And
just announced this week.
Yeah, just announced. And at first, my first thought was, it's a goddamn rich Dem, and he's going to be tied to corporate interests and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, he's probably going to be tied to corporate interests, but let's look at some of these things. So he is 38. He's the co-founder of aspiration.com, which I was actually looking at joining if I had been able to keep any of my money. So that's Aspiration is the group that's an investment bank that invests in good shit, supposedly. Right? Mm-hmm. He's also a founding investor in something that Laura Livengood uses, and I have used, which I think is a good service for what it is, which is Blue Apron. And right,
his
Laura?
name is Joe Sandberg, by the way.
Joe Sandberg, sorry, yeah. And what do you think of Blue Apron so far, Laura Livengood?
I love it. It's a beautiful service, and I've enjoyed it for the last 5 or 6 months. And there's always several nice meals ready to make in my refrigerator, and they send it to me in a nice box.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's marked as a progressive. Other progressive people who are named in this article say that he's progressive and that he will fight for progressive values. He's loaded. All right. And that's
his thing is income equality and raising people's income and having working people be able to afford their lives. And especially speaking as a Californian, that's something that is high on everybody's list because it's insanely expensive to live here.
There you go.
And so that a lot of people, so it'll be interesting. It'll be like, that whole, like Chris Rock just announced his platform, and his main platform is those freeloaders aren't going to get free stuff from me. They're not going to take the money that you earned, which is how they equate income equality and Medicare for all and that type of thing. But no, he's really on the other side of that coin is that, and then so the establishment is going to be not happy with that, which makes us happy.
Right.
So we've already reached out to him to be on the show.
Yes.
In case you guys are going to suggest that.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So that's cool. I mean, that's a case where you hope that his intentions, his words, are matched by actions if elected. And he's a guy. No problem with David Hildebrand. Okay. Glad David's running against Feinstein too. Odds are that piles of money are going to have a big factor in the Feinstein race.
Yeah.
So piles of money in the hands of a progressive versus piles of money in the hands of just another fucking tool that we don't want to work with. You take what I can
As I was saying last night, she had a nice long interview on NPR last night. So that's where Dianne Feinstein's hanging out. She
wants to keep her job. She's not ready to retire, apparently, which is irritating. She's supposed to be listening to the will of the people. But anyway, and a couple of things. I want to back up. I saw what you said about all of Trump's huges. Fine, if he was saying them first. Bernie actually made it matter. Just going to say that. All right. Anyway, and to everybody talking about Blue Apron, absolutely is a privileged white person fucking thing. Right? It costs a lot of money. It does. I can't afford it.
It's $10 a meal.
Right, but then you've got the shipping, you got all this stuff on it, and it does create a carbon footprint and all that stuff. No?
Yeah. No, it's all. Well, no, it's $10. It's $60 a week, 3 meals for 2 people, $10 a meal.
Right, but it's 60. But you have to be able to afford $60 a week. It's more affordable.
Yeah.
It's more affordable than you would think, but it's definitely something that.
I have a 2-income household, so it's affordable for us. But yeah, it's fancy, and everything in it, and it's all recyclable, all the packaging. So we are careful about that.
There you go. I will say this: I like it as a gift.
Yeah.
Right. I've sent it as gift and had it sent to us as gift, and it's good stuff if you like to cook, and it is good foods. So, I think it's an interesting business opportunity, an interesting. More environmentally focused business opportunity, right? If you're going to have that kind of stuff delivered anyway. All right, you guys are having a conversation about that.
Yep.
I just wanted to bring it up. Everybody lives in different, things.
I'm a white privileged woman living in California,
there you
and
go.
I live with my son, and we both, support the household. So yes,
that's true.
I can afford $60 a week for Blue Apron.
Right, exactly. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of that food here. Right. So, yeah. And it's not, my reason to bring that up was to say that we all live in different economic strata. Right. And just like we're talking about rich progressive here, who probably thinks Blue Apron, who knows what this guy eats, but we all have to keep that. I don't want to vilify our economic status. If you're a good person, it shouldn't matter. That was kind of where I was headed with all of that stuff. I just wanted to clarify on that. Brahm says, I've had Blue Apron gifted to me a couple times and a couple coupons for them as well. It's pretty good. Yeah. Lori's brother, Eric,
for you telling me that the value, it's like, wait, okay, I know that you can eat on $5 a week or a day or whatever, but this is a gourmet meal for $10 each, which I could not in any way pay for at a restaurant to eat the way we do. It would be $60 per per meal total every time we did that, plus tip plus tax. So anyway, I don't want to belabor the point. I'm just
no. You're right there with me. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people. I think if you actually added up costs of other things, you'd find they were very similar. Mm-hmm. But that's on a whole other topic. Food is changing in general, and it will be changing again as we lose access to a lot of food resources we used to have as climate pummels our planet, because that's going to happen. I mean, this is going to affect Florida's agriculture, right? We've seen what the fires have done to the West. That's going to affect the West agriculture. The deportation and the ice raids, that's affected our agriculture. The spring, then summer, then spring again, winter, spring thing that we had going on has affected our agriculture, right? We've got shit dying all over the place in the oceans. What is it going to be, a couple of years? What do you think things are going to cost by 2020? We've gone through a couple of years of hurricane season, as it is. We're gonna remember the videos that I showed a while back on eating bugs.
Yeah.
When Blue Apron starts selling bug meals, you know things have changed. I'm looking forward to that. More localized foods, right? It's going to be an inevitable outfall of this. I want to thank everybody who tried to find a version of this that I could run. I actually tested this, and we can run it, and we're going to run it. The whole fucking thing. Katie brought this up, and a couple other people brought this up. I saw this the other day. Super Deluxe does these great videos with Vicente Fox. And the problem is when they put them on YouTube, they copyright the fuck out of them and shut us down. And so this, I actually took the time this morning to run this as an event to make sure it wasn't going to shut us down. So I know that I can run this live. And we are going to run it live. It is, I'll ask you this right now. If we had the option, would you vote for Vicente Fox for president?
Hello, it's me, Vicente Fox, with another message for last year's rotting Halloween pumpkin. Donald, every time I make fun of you, which I do a lot, people say, why can't you be our president? America, I feel your pain. We all do. And that is why today I'm proud to announce my candidacy for president of the United States. Neat, right? Thank you, Goat.
With weed.
Now I know. A lot of you will say, how can you be president? You're a Mexican. And to those people, I have 3 words. Donald fucking Trump. If that were not a baseball glove tightly gripping a third can be president, then amigos, anyone can. America, I ask for your votes. And in return, these are my promises. I promise to save the American taxpayers money by having teeny little inauguration. Bigger than Trump's, of course, but still very, very small. I promise to put together a competent cabinet after this current disgrace. Donald, you have the worst team since the team that was beaten by Air Bud, a basketball-playing golden retriever who has no hands, which are so necessary for the sport of basketball. I promise to build a beautiful wall, and believe me, Mexico will be happy to pay for this one, unless Donald has moved to a new home, which already has a wall. I promise to never defend Nazis. Donald, what the fuck is wrong with you? Now I was going to promise to undo all of Donald's hateful legislation. But amigo, you haven't passed a fucking thing. I'm not even president yet, and we have both passed the same amount of substantial legislation. I, a foreigner who lives in another country, have passed 0. And you, the President of the United States, have also passed 0. I got the 0 without even trying to pass anything. And you're trying your hardest, but you are also still at 0. Donald, you suck so much at this job. If they ever do a Mount Rushmore for shitty presidents, it will just be your bloated orange head 4 times. Yuck. Now, America, I know campaigning is more than just promises. You want the razzle dazzle. Some of our local musicians have helped me with a campaign song. Catchy, right? And I know you have come to expect hats now. So I have ordered 5 million of this. Always ask before grabbing a pussy.
Oh, God.
You like? I have some other ones. 65 million is more than 62 million. Putin is not my puppy. Trump has baby fingers. Not afraid of stairs. America, the rest of the world looks up to you. We're counting on you. So you don't have to vote for me, but please elect someone who will make a better president than Donald Trump. Like this mug or this tape. Hell, at this point, we will even take another Bush.
This ad was paid for by the ghost of Donald Trump's dead dad, who was looking up from hell with shame in his eyes.
Oh, God, I needed that.
That was the best. I think that's the best Super Deluxe has done in a long time. That was.
Oh, my gosh.
He's retired, isn't he?
Oh, my gosh.
Vicente, yeah, he is. And you know.
And he's enjoying his retirement. Absolutely.
Yes. Every president that was ever looked at and wondered, you know, did he do a good or bad job, can now say, we've all done good jobs. We're not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I just want to say something in all seriousness. If we actually wanted to elect Vicente Fox, all it would take was to put enough people in government to write a law that says we will allow him to be so. Because our government is run by laws. And when you have people in power, we can write whatever fucking laws we want. We've got some pretty fucked up ones right now. Citizens United is a pretty fucked up one, right? If we can make corporations be treated equally as people under our government, we can certainly elect Vicente Fox from Mexico to be the president of the United States.
Yeah, some pretty major laws are being completely ignored. We can just ignore that one.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying he'd be the best, but, you know, Merkley's looking at running. So anyway, that'd be funny. Therapeutic laughing. Yes, Julia, we all needed a good goddamn therapeutic laugh.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
I haven't seen that. So.
That's what it was. Anyway. I'd vote for him. Because the bar has been lowered to decency. Right? If you have human decency, you're okay. That's.
I liked the goat. The goat was a nice touch.
The goat was good. There was so much in that. It was beautiful. Reach out to Vicente, see if he'll come on our show. Might as well.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay.
I am on it. Challenge accepted.
Thank you.
Bring us the fox.
Oh, there you go.
I could even speak a little Spanish.
I'm sure that would help a lot. Yeah. Cool. If I tried, I would insult him. No, if you can actually speak Spanish, go right ahead. Whatever you want to do. He speaks great English because most people from other countries do speak great English.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Right? Should be law that all presidents must be funny on purpose. I like that.
Yeah.
Melissa, that's great. We have a funny test. That would be so hilarious. I'm sorry, you're just really too boring, and you're not funny at all. You just can't be president. You know? The Democratic National Party could write that in as its fucking body. They could do. When you take the power, you can make it any way you want. You can even continue to push your candidate, Hillary Clinton, when you know that everybody wants Bernie Sanders. That's what happens when you have power in the party. We saw that happen, right? It sucks. Thank you for putting this in Facebook, Crystal Hosmer, who is back in Nevada. Haven't had her on the show in a while, but wildfires are increasing and wildfire season is getting longer in the western U.S. Here's some numbers that prove that. 1980 to 89, about 140, 90 to 99, 160, 2000 to 2012, 250. In the early 70s, fire season was about 5 months, and today it's about 7 months, but we've seen it longer than that in other places. We've seen fires crop up in the middle of fucking winter in Canada.
Yeah, in the snow.
Well, when you don't have snow at all.
Yeah, just little brown tufty things.
What does this say? Climate change is driving up temperatures and increased wildfire risk. Yes, so just to clarify, just for fun, you guys, but if somebody ever asks, right, because they do this, they throw the snowball versus the hot, cold things, like, no, understand. So when we're dealing with water, then more warm water in air. When we're dealing with land, generally we're talking about warmer air, but there's no water there, so fire. It's just really simple. Who was it the other day? Was it Pelosi who said, or Feinstein, either one of those idiots who said it? We're dealing with earth, fire, and water and air. Yes, we are.
Pelosi.
But
Yeah.
we're dealing with those in terms of climate change extremes now, not just your little children's book. So, yeah, it's nice.
That started a little Earth, Wind, and Fire debate in Slack, I think.
That's right. We should have played Earth, Wind, and Fire today. That we should grab a song of this.
I
Way
thought
of the world.
about this yesterday, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you? All right, you grab it for tomorrow, man. Or whatever
Yeah,
day we do this next. Tuesday. Wildfires are projected to burn more land as temperatures continue to rise. Does anybody really think we need a correlation graph to prove this? I mean, well, we'll just wait till everything's on fire. That bothers me, though, because fire around me, right? I'm in a place with fire. And although it's better today, they just issued more evacuations for a particular area because the fires aren't done. We got a little dabble of rain here. We didn't get rain, right? Things are still on fire all over the place. There's not, we're just worried about all the other shit going on, right? But we still have fires across the U.S. They had that earthquake, Mexico, right? Things are looking pretty catastrophic, really. It's just nobody's addressing them with climate. It's interesting to see the establishment members on both the Democratic and Republican sides who refuse to look at this in terms of climate change. You know, it's a clear signal on who we need to remove from office. What did I load up here? There's another Twitter search. Oh, and particularly this guy, everybody. You know this. You know this. Florida Governor Rick Scott. So he's freaking out now because he is just starting to realize the science behind storm surge and what's going to happen to all of his rich buddies' properties. And he's urging his 5.6 million people that have, moved to get out as fast as possible, those who can, right? Trisha, Jupiter, other people. Yeah, I mean, he did. So I was reading an article there's several articles coming out now talking about Governor Scott and his complete denial of climate change. And one of the environmentalists in the article was talking about, look, we laid it out on a fucking silver platter. It's not like we made it difficult to understand. We made it very clear. We made it very simple. We laid out what needed to be done. We had infrastructure plans. We had shit together. And he was like, nope, don't want to see, nope. So I hope that everybody who's alive and left and whose lives have been completely devastated by this, remember when it comes time to vote for fuckers like this guy. Anybody voting for a climate change denier is voting to have their life shortened. They're in a way, you're voting for murder. And we really need to convince you voting for a climate change denier, then you're voting for the murder of the planet. And that's really what it comes down to. And if you live in an area that's been directly affected by climate change and you're voting for people who deny climate change, maybe that's natural selection at work. I don't know. But it really sucks that your poor choices have to affect so many other people. That's what sucks, right? When Ted Cruz says, I don't want to give money to Sandy, but please give me money, Ted Cruz makes really bad choices. When Ted Cruz and the rest of the people in Texas don't do jack shit to ensure that Texas is safe from natural disasters and then go, oh shit, we need federal aid, we're going to borrow it from everybody. I want to know why that can't just come right out of the military budget, because it's a threat to America. So the fucking military budget should be paying for all of these catastrophic, because those are threatening America's coastline. I don't want to line up military soldiers to stop it, but how about we stack a wall of F-35s? They'd be more effective that way. Line a bunch of ships up and just drop them as a wall. We have enough ships and planes in a fucking graveyard in the middle of Arizona and other places to do that, actually, that we've paid for that are no longer doing anything for us as citizens. Least we could do is recycle the metal. You know what? You know what's ironic somehow? You said America never had made the experience to be attacked on own soil. You know, right? Yeah. Yes.
You are under attack right now.
We are.
You are under attack. You know.
We are. And scientists.
The enemy is there. You know.
You just hit the best point on that exactly. We are under attack. If we could get our military to talk like that, then we could motivate everybody, right? Because that's what America needs to hear, is the military come on and go, we've been under attack by a serious enemy. The enemy is at our shores. The enemy is in our mountain ranges. The enemy is using weapons of untold destruction, and we need to rise up and fight this enemy. How do we fight this enemy, American citizens? Pull your heads out of your asses. Grab a shovel. Learn what the fuck science is. Find out how climate change works, and elect people in your government that aren't stupid motherfuckers. That's how we fight climate change. Rise up together, America, and defeat the evil enemy climate change by not being ignorant fucktards. That's what we need.
I'll vote for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Where do I sign up?
And I speak to everybody. Okay, remember, I was asleep at the wheel for 20 plus years. So I've been an ignorant fucktard too. Just saying. Yeah, if we made it from the military, yeah, I'll be making old friends on Facebook. Pissed off later. Nice chemo. Oh, that's funny. No, John Warren, you're absolutely right. Okay, so the military has been saying it. You're absolutely right. The military's been saying, but they haven't done the commercials for it, right? Like when the military wants to get more soldiers as fodder for war, they do commercials about how fucking cool it would be to be in the military. You've seen them. Join the Navy, where you'll get the job working with computers and joysticks, and it'll be just like sitting at home getting stoned with your friends, only you'll have to wear a uniform and you'll get to be on a ship. Right? Why don't they have commercials like that about join the military, help fight climate change, help convince others that we need to fight climate change, fight the biggest threat ever to mankind, makes Hitler look like a pussy, right? That's really what it is.
But there would a strategy be needed, and you cannot defeat climate with weapons. And there it starts and there it ends.
We can actually. I want to. First of all, Melissa, thank you. It would be cool to make a PSA with that voice, and we'll add it to the list of things. Marcus, the names of the weapons have to change. The weapons are in the hands of scientists. The weapons are solar panels. The weapons are batteries. The weapons are EV vehicles. You know,
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
We have to change the concept of a weapon being a penis extension and make it a brain extension.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
You know, I know it's not as popular for men. I like my penis. My brain is just my brain. You know, but it's what it needs to be.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Little Homer Simpson slipped out there. Apologies.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
I brought this.
Next.
Yeah, it is. I brought this up because Chemo dropped it in. I think it was Chemo. Pretty sure it's good. Yeah. If it wasn't Chemo that dropped this in, then sorry whoever did. Earth Cam has a lot of different beach cams.
Stock, I think, did.
Was it Stock? Okay, hey Stock, thank you.
So.
Somebody dropped it. I don't have this one running. Yes, I am.
I just checked in on it. Yeah, it's gnarly in Miami.
There's no audio, which no, there might be it. Let's see. No, nothing gone. But that'll be fun to watch. I remember the St. Martin cam, got ripped off by wind, so it'll be interesting to see how long this lasts. There's a cop. You see that? There's a cop on the beach.
They've been patrolling up and down the beach. I've seen them pass by a couple times because there's still people going out on the beach. You can see there's people out there.
Natural selection, everyone.
Yeah.
The circle of life. Yes, Chris Christie.
This would explain our card. He was taken into space.
that would. That'd be a fine way. I love your. Markus had a comment in Facebook about that. He wanted Trump to do the Irma Open. On golf. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, if he was a real tough president, he would be there and attend the Irma Open. But he's not there, and he's in Camp David, right?
Yes, he's at Camp David, hiding out of the public eye because he gets protests everywhere he goes, including Trump Towers these days, which is beautiful. Please keep that up. That works. Okay, one thing I didn't say that I meant to say about Bernie Sanders and his statements on the health care bill is the reason that we're in the place we are is because of people continuing to push the issue. And that's where politicians make their change. Right? I mean, most of the politicians that are going to shift over to this voted against it before. When they realize they're going to lose their jobs or come to their senses, however it is that happens, whatever the epiphany happens to be, it doesn't fucking matter. The people put pressure on them to change. It's like a really slow write-up on an employee. You bring them in and you're like, I keep coming to you and telling you to do this differently. You keep doing a shitty job here. I need you to do this differently. Are you ready to do this our way? And eventually the employee comes around. It's like, well, that's what we got. It's a long game. It takes a long time to get legislation to move through, but we've seen $15 an hour get pushed, right? We've seen the Medicare go from a fucking laughable statement to it's probably gonna fucking happen, and those are statements by Republicans. But that took from 2008 to now, and we're not done. So what is that going to be, 10 years, 12 years that it takes us to move legislation through? And we know we're dealing with a corrupt government, and we know we're dealing with assholes and liars. So removing a lot of that corruption, these assholes and liars, will make that whole process move faster, right? And that's when you get to a place like Germany, where they've got decent people in government, and so legislation tends to move around and happens faster and stuff, and you're able to change people out when you want to because you have better control of your government. No, they're not perfect, but this is where we're working towards. It's like we have an old ship that's empty, and the parts need to be replaced, and we're replacing those parts with us and learning how the machine works and learning how to tune it up over here and over there. And Arizona needs a new carburetor, and over here we need this. That's what this is. The parts of the vehicle are us. Mm-hmm. We are the moving parts of the vehicle. And if we've got a shitty part, we replace it. Yes, Markus?
An organic ship, John.
Yes, it is an organic ship. Well, actually, it's an oil-based vessel, and we're switching it to an organic-based vessel.
Yeah.
Well, I think in our current society too, I think that there is a desire for this to be Hollywood and dramatic, and the good guys rush in and form a new party and vanquish the bad guys, and it's just not going to be that quick or that tidy or nearly with that great a dialogue.
No.
It's just it's gonna be slogging, and that's what we realized after the primaries last year, is that, okay, now the slog begins. Now we do the work. But I think part of the reason that we tend to be more optimistic is we spend so much time looking at these new candidates and talking to them and seeing what is going on at the ground game. And that is really, for me, still the most hopeful place to dwell.
That is definitely one of the things that keeps us, absolutely. I think that's maybe part of our frustration too. We're like, hey, how come you're not jumping on the wagon? Why isn't everybody here? It's because we actually get to see a lot of the good that happens, right? That's a good point, Lorelai. I want to back up. What did you say here? You, guys are cracking me up. And of course, now I missed it. Hang on. Oh, who called it? It was the Christioid. Or Christoid, like an asteroid. I thought was cracking me up.
Yeah, real Jingy said that.
Thank you. That's all.
Christoid Christie.
I see that. Live and Good's out of sync. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if it's audio delay or if I screwed something up. It's very possible I screwed something up here. We'll get that worked out, I promise. I promise. All right, guys. It's like 11:58 and we're at the end song. We really are.
I did drop the Earth, Wind, and Fire song in live production. If we could have 2 songs, it would be sweet. But if not, we can go with your original plan.
Oh, the Earth. No, we're going with my original.
Okay. That wouldn't be instead of. It would be in addition to.
Oh,
a bonus track. I'll let you decide, and it'll either go on or it won't.
Because I got to pee, we're going out with one song.
Okay.
There. That's how I'm covering it. That you know.
Uphill
that
all
leaves,
the way, folks. Uphill all the way.
That's right. Uphill all the way to the restroom, because it's a small bladder revolution. So, the song we're going out with is after yesterday's show, where I was basically just in a bad mood. Markus is in a bad mood, and we were just not having a good time with shit, and I just did nothing but go off and be angry, and I'm sorry. I was realizing what was pissing me off. Markus and I have talked about this a lot, and it's just you lose being awake. You lose your ability to, or I feel you lose your ability to have a vacation, right? Which is that capitalistic structure where that says if I do a lot of hard work, I eventually get to say I'm not going to fucking do any work for a couple of days, and I'm going to go do something I like to do. If we lived in a society where we like to do it, we're doing what we like to do all the time. Not that I don't dislike it, but I was like, how do you take a break from what you're doing every day of the week and go do something else? Right? And I'm not able to do that now because I spend so much of my time focused on all this shit, right? And I'm glad we were making you laugh today. It's much better than getting everybody angry yesterday.
Yeah.
What, no potty chair in the studio? I could do a catheter, but that just sounds...
Oh, God.
You know, I'm not ready for that. Watch these commercials with these old guys. Yes, I love my catheter. It's like, no, you don't. Nobody likes their fucking catheter. Just tell me that shit. Anyway, I'm not ready for that. Not ready for that.
We covered this issue also.
Yes, we did. Moving on. So...
Run, John, run.
Run, John.
Okay,
it's not even going to go there. Yeah, so the song, I am in a better mood today, Louise, but you know why? It's because James was kind enough to go out and get me better joints. Without good weed, I was in a really bad mood. I got really good weed now. I'm in a great mood. So, yeah. High and dry, remember. Diapers. No thanks, Melissa. Not ready there. I'm 47, not 87, all right? So I was thinking about how I take mini vacations. Because we do. I take many vacations when I watch like a really emotional trailer about something, right? And for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I'm like totally involved. Or take many vacations where we listen to a song. I love like putting on my headphones and turning it up ridiculously loud and listening to a song and dancing and singing in my room and looking like an idiot. But it takes you away for a couple minutes. And all the songs that I tried to pick on the shows that we picked on the shows have always had some relevancy because I've been this weird guy about making sure that they're all relevant and trying to come up with some emotional ending to it one way or the other to tie it in, because that's what I like to do. I like to tie music with emotions and make it more than just what it is. But after a while, that drains you of that, right? When every day of the week is looking at what's going on in the world and trying to put together a way to tell that or have a conversation about it to everybody else, you kind of get burned out. And so I decided to pick a song that really wasn't relevant to anything. Although, because I'm telling you a story about it, it is now. But it really isn't relevant to anything. And it's Robert Plant. It's from 1983. In the Mood. It's not In the Mood for a Melody. Thank you, Laura Live and Good, for correcting
It's the
me there.
refrain. But it was,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
I like accuracy.
And yes, P does have to wait for the end of the show, Patricia.
Yeah.
It does. Handle that. So, just a few things about this song. It really has nothing to do with anything other than it's a good song. Mm-hmm. And I love the way the music flows together. And all the little parts in it work. And the sounds that they use to work. And that's what makes this song a good song. And that's why it rose up on the charts. And a lot of people liked it, is because everything that was done and put together was put together in the right way. And it worked. And it makes a good song, right?
And the visuals are beautiful.
The visuals are beautiful. We actually get to watch the video because this is from off Robert Plant's website, and I made sure that we could run this. We're going to run the original video from 1983. Interesting notes on it, though. Think about the time frame. He actually apparently doesn't really like this era of him, the 80s era. I wasn't aware of that. I love it because
this is like Bowie. This is like Bowie Let's Dance, like we were talking about the other day.
Yeah. Where they don't like that pop era of him, and you can see the goofy pop. But this is like 1983. So this is like right after Zeppelin was done. Mm-hmm. It moved on. The 80s were in an interesting phase. I mean, look, everything that was done, nobody did worse 80s pop crap than Billy Joel. So everybody else is fine.
Right.
Just going to say that. All right. Billy Joel put out the worst piece of pop shit. Anyway, back to this song. There's a couple things in here that you're going to see that are very historic. And I'm laughing because I get to call them historic. One of them is breakdancing, or at least some kind of version of it. There's some in the video, and they've got a boombox, and this is boombox before they got stupid. This is early boombox. And it's kind of cool to see. Now, it's not original early breakdancing. I realize that stuff was coming out in the 70s, and whoever's like a real historian on that stuff can say, not the original. But you see what I saw as some of the early forms of breakdancing when it was coming out into mainstream, not when it was buried, as the underground. Also, don't know if you're aware, but the drummer on this track is Phil Collins from Genesis. That's kind of cool. So think about it.
Oh, and Jeffrey points out that Bonham had just died, and so Plant was sad during this time.
That's what I'm saying. It was the end of Zeppelin, 1980. Yeah. Bonham's dead.
Yeah.
Right? So this is Plant doing other stuff. Maybe this was his therapy, And maybe he doesn't like talking about it because it's a little personal and it looks a little goofy or whatnot. But I think the song's great. It's just, he was a master musician. And the song credit is attributed to all of the members of the band. Actually, not Phil Collins. I think he just came in and played. But the guitarist and the bass player, which do incredible work. And you can really hear Robert Plant in this song. You can hear where Plant's influence would have been in Zeppelin had they kept going into the 80s, right? Because we started to get a taste of that in their last album. You're like, with the keyboards and things. And you totally hear that in this production. It's just minus what made Zeppelin that beautiful group, right? So anyway, enjoy the song. I love this song. It's a short vacation, 5 minutes and 21 seconds. Let it take you wherever you want to go. It's the safest vacation you'll ever have.
Nice.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, John.
See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.